The first gun reform bill of this legislative session is up for debate right now at the state capitol. This one would impose a 3-day waiting period to buy a firearm.
There's been a lot of back and forth on this proposal, with lawmakers looking at ways this bill could impact homicide rates. Well, Denver 7 political reporter has been spending the day at the Capitol, where lawmakers have been talking about this bill for hours.
We have the honor and privilege of getting to do down here is having really hard, really contentious discussions.
In this committee room in the state capitol, a back and forth.
Today I'm speaking out in opposition.
We simply see this as a good policy.
Not just political philosophies, but a back and forth of data.
In the time we've sat here, 3 people on average have committed suicide.
The bill itself mentioned that they have one study that shows those numbers, that they could be dropped.
The decision to attempt suicide is impulsive. 70% of suicides happen within an hour of consideration.
The first 100 days of ownership was a more likely predictor of suicide.
Dozens of voices either arguing for or against a bill to impose a 3-day waiting period on firearm purchases in Colorado. Currently, 9 states and the District of Columbia have waiting periods to buy a gun. The longest is in Hawaii with a 14-day waiting period. The shortest are in Florida and Illinois with a 3-day wait. But since the 1970s, 44 states have tried waiting periods at some point.
We were really interested in this question of whether handgun waiting periods are potentially effective at reducing gun violence, homicide, or suicide.
Chris Poliquin is one of the co-authors of a 2017 study cited by that bill and brought up time and again in this debate.
There's a pretty strong association between having these waiting period policies and having lower rates of gun death, particularly gun homicides.
The study looked at 45 years of data from before waiting periods existed to their implementation and even after some states moved away. It concluded that homicides decreased by 17% and suicides decreased by 7 to 11%. In terms of the wait,
we think we have reason to believe that even a pretty short waiting period could be pretty effective.
But other research conducted on wait periods show much more scant evidence. Like this compilation of studies by the RAND Corporation that concluded evidence waiting periods reduce firearm homicides is limited and evidence that they reduce suicides is moderate. Poliquin says he'd like to see more research done in the area.
There's kind of a real lack of rigorous research on these topics, unfortunately.
Even so, he's happy his study is being used in policy debates. For now, even if this bill's passage is all but guaranteed with a Democratic majority, this hearing is just the start of long gun debates ahead at the Capitol.
So about 75 people sign up to testify today. This bill is the first big gun bill to have a public hearing here at the legislature this session. And today's testimony was really over a battle of data between the evidence of the effectiveness of these waiting periods.
Yeah, it's an important topic, that's for sure. All right, Megan, thank you for that update in this legislation. It really is just one gun reform bill that Colorado lawmakers have introduced. One bill introduced Friday night would ban certain assault weapons. That bill defines an assault weapon as a semi-automatic rifle with a detachable magazine and has at least one other feature like a pistol grip or a folding stock. The legislation would not allow these weapons to be sold or transferred. Police and military would be exempt. Now, gun rights groups, they're calling the proposal a huge overreach, and a hearing for the bill has not yet been scheduled.
And there are other gun bills being considered this legislative session. On Wednesday, the Senate committee will take up a measure to expand Colorado's red flag law. Right now, only police and family members can ask a judge to remove someone's guns if they are potentially a threat to themselves or to others. Now, this bill would expand that to teachers, counselors, and prosecutors. Another bill would raise the legal age to buy rifles and other large weapons from 18 to 21. And a third would strip away some liability protections from gun manufacturers and sellers so people can sue them.